All right, folks, today we have a landslide of rumors coming in for things happening with Nintendo Switch 2, things happening with NSO, and some new platforms. That's right, more than one new platforms potentially coming to Nintendo Switch 2. We have obviously some new games and stuff like that, possibly even a new first-party game from Nintendo potentially leaking out here. But more than that, we also have one little piece of actual news that I just find really exciting, and I'm kind of confused by it because, well, when we get to it, you'll understand. But whatever. This is mostly a video on a bunch of rumors and potential leaks here, especially the one for Nintendo here actually might just legitimately straight up be a leak based on how this information's out there. So, guys, I'm really excited about this stuff. Obviously, we just came off a partner showcase yesterday. I don't know if you guys enjoyed it or not. That's obviously going to be completely subjective, but here we are moving on to a new day with new rumors, new news, new leaks, and let's just go ahead and dive in. I have to remind you, we're on our road to 200,000 subscribers. If you are having a good time and you want to subscribe and help us get there this year, that would be awesome. We're about like 700 subscribers away from getting to 162,000. We'd like to celebrate every 1,000 because I don't want to forget what it was like to get that first 1,000 subscribers. So every time we do it, it just feels special to me. That being said, let's start off with that Nintendo one, right? That's what you guys probably want to be really interested in first. And this has to do with a voice actress who updated a profile that was able to be screen grabbed, and the profile update kind of hints at something Xenoblade coming this year. So this was actually captured over on the Weibo website in China, and you can see we're talking about Caitlin Thorburn, and this has apparently been corroborated by multiple people. I don't think it's up anymore, or it's a website you have to pay to access. I can't really remember what the details were, but a bunch of people on Family Board said they were able to see this. And you can see here that it lists Xenoblade Chronicles with a 2026 date and her voicing Cosmos for Nintendo. Now, Cosmos is actually a character from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, so this has led to a ton of speculation that, hey, maybe she is referencing a Xenoblade 2 Definitive Edition or Switch 2 Edition or, remaster or whatever for the Nintendo Switch 2. That absolutely could be what it is. Some people wonder if it's possibly her voicing a character for Xenoblade Warriors, maybe a Warriors game, or who knows, maybe that character is coming back and it's actually Xenoblade Chronicles 4. Now, technically, there is this weird leak out there about Xenoblade Chronicles 4 coming this year and with like a blind protagonist. And so like maybe you can link these two together, but I didn't want to actually show you. In fact, I'm not even going to link to that report because the bottom line is it kind of looks like it might be AI generated. I'm not really sure. There's like screenshots. We're going to leave that alone because it's just too out there. It would be like me running the 4chan and just grabbing a random post with no direct evidence on why we should believe that random 4chan post. So while I mentioned it's out there, if you want to dig on the internet and try to find it, I don't find it worthwhile in terms of showing you. But this is worthwhile, of course, noting that she is the actual voice actress for this character, and this stuff apparently has been seen by a number of people. So I'm just going to say, hey, a new Xenoblade, a new Xenoblade 4 would be what I would prefer, but, a Xenoblade Warriors, I'm cool with that. Or if it's a Xenoblade 2 remaster or remake, I guess that's fine. Or a Switch 2 edition. I don't know. Look, personally, I would rather not have that game come back right now, although it does need an update, because obviously I would like to see something new. It's been a while from Monolith Soft. Feel like we're due, but I guess if this game's coming this year, that would probably lock in something brand new from Monolith Soft next year, but we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, nothing is officially announced at this time via a Nintendo Direct or Nintendo Today or however Nintendo decides to reveal anything possibly Xenoblade this year. I suspect the next General Direct might have something in it, but who knows? That being said, let's go ahead and dive into yet another rumor, and this is unfortunately for a game that was rumored coming to Switch 2 that hasn't been announced in Starfield, and a person on, I believe, Reset Era, who is well-known, and Shinobi, coming out and basically saying, and we're going here so I don't have to dig through Reset Era to see it, but it says, a user asked curious if this will hit Switch 2 at the same time, and Shinobi 602 said that's been pushed out, and it might not even come out at all. Now, Shinobi is known as an insider on the Reset Era forums. I'm not going to sit here and verify, his reliability. They seem to I feel like he's pretty reliable over on Reset Era. That does have a number of insiders and industry people in there, journalists and all of that. Shinobi is saying that, it's been pushed out and it might not even come out at all. I wouldn't really be surprised if it got pushed out. Starfield's been in a really interesting place since it came out. And even though it came to PlayStation 5, I don't know if that saved it or helped it or what. I don't know anything about what's going on with Starfield, but it was rumored to be coming to Nintendo Switch 2. Now it's rumored to be delayed and might not ever come out. Look, guys, rumors are what they are. If that is the case and it's never announced, people are just going to act like it was never happening. Maybe there'll be an interview in the future from like a former developer that does admit that it was happening, and that's how we find out the rumors were true. But in the end, I'm not putting any stock in, obviously, Starfield. I'm not betting on it. I also just don't have a lot of interest in that game, so I'm not really that worried about it. That said, Nate the Hate provided an update for Red Dead Redemption 2, the next-gen version. He talked about how he thought it would have been revealed last year, but it never happened. And this version is the one that's supposed to also be coming to Switch 2. That's why we're talking about it. And someone asked him on Twitter, because he said, hey, plenty of announcements and reveals remain. And that was after the partner showcase, because obviously the partner showcase didn't reveal everything that's being rumored and leaked out there. And so Nate the Hate's like, there's actually plenty more stuff to come. And someone asked him, not direct related, but Red Dead Redemption 2 is slated for this year. Is it still slated for this year? Or is it that Kiwi said about it potentially being slotted for 2027? And, Nate the Hate came out and said, hey, as far as I know, Red Dead Redemption 2 is this year. Now, he's not obviously guaranteeing it. It's just as far as he knows. Things could change. Obviously, what's become very obvious with Rockstar is they beat to the beat of their own drum. You can predict things, you can be told things can change on a whim. They kind of do their own marketing. They don't rely on any other events. They don't rely on Summer Game Fest or the Game Awards or obviously Nintendo Directs or State of Plays, Xbox Directs, etc. They just kind of do what they want. And look, when you see the kind of views their trailers get, you could tell they don't really need anybody else. When Rockstar drops news, everyone pays attention. So yeah, we'll see if it actually ends up coming out this year. Remember, it was supposed to be revealed and potentially released last year. That's what Nate the Hate said. Now, obviously this year, until it happens, as I said, rumors. Now in the middle of this rumor fest, I wanted to get to an actual story, some smidgen news, just because I'm a little confused. And I wonder if they're testing the waters here. So Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, right? We know that game is coming out. We got the release date for it. It was announced for Switch 2 last year. It's a game that came out in December. I think December 18th of 2024. I might be off on that exact day. I'm trying to remember because I got it on Game Pass and beat Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Really enjoyed it. Actually enjoy it more than the recent movies. That said, you dive in here and you see Bethesda saying, and yes, the game is on a game card with Machine Games putting out Indy's latest discovery. And there it is. That is not a game key card. That is not a coding box. That is a physical version of the game, which is wild. It does come in at about 59.7 gigabytes according to Nintendo's eShop. And just to hammer home that this is a physical version, here's a blog post over on Bethesda's own website here. Bethesda games coming to Switch 2, and they talk about everything. You get down to Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and here it is. Pre-orders are available now for the physical game card at retail and digitally via the eShop. The DLC and stuff is obviously sold separately. Guys, it's a physical game. And what's crazy about that is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is not physical anywhere else. It's not on Xbox, it's not on PC, nor PlayStation. And you might go, what do you mean? On PlayStation, especially because not as many people own Xbox, I went to the store and I bought my disc version of it. You did buy a disc version of it. That disc version essentially serves the same functionality as a game key card. It just doesn't tell you on the box and it doesn't tell you on the disc. I guess technically there's probably some like little tiny fine print in there that reveals that it is that. It's just really small and not obvious. When you insert the disc, you have to install games on PlayStation and Xbox anyways. So it just kind of, whether you're downloading or whether you're installing off discs, some people don't pay attention and don't know. But technically game key cards have been a thing. You can call them disc key cards if you want, for a long time, especially from Microsoft. So this game does not exist in a physical format on any platform right now where you do not need the internet to play or the internet to at least install and download, except for the Nintendo Switch 2. Very strange decision because the other games they announced, like Fallout 4, which we already knew about, and Oblivion Remastered, those are code in boxes. They are straight up just digital games. So really weird. I kind of feel like they're maybe just experimenting here to see, hey, there is a larger audience buying physical games on Nintendo than our platform, than PlayStation. So if we try a physical game, if it sells really, really well, which I'm not promising anything, but if they're testing the market here for physical, if it sells really well, you might see Microsoft start to decide, hey, maybe we should release more of our games coming to Switch 2 on a physical format when possible, when they're able to get it under 64 gigs. Just throwing that out there that, hey, this is a very, very interesting thing we're seeing because literally no other platform has that. All right, let's go ahead and get back to the rumor mill. And this one's going to blow your mind because well, let's just get to how this even came up, because it came up from something that is not real. And it led to somebody revealing things that they know who has been reliable. So what are we talking about? We're talking about NSO and adding consoles. It first started with this post by Arrow saying there's an official support page about Nintendo Switch 2 Wiimote. Could Wii games be getting announced coming to Switch Online in the next round? But there's some context here. This is simply an issue with Nintendo's support website. IDs were leaked for several products, and combining them can produce support pages for any product someone can want. Example, Virtual Boy internet browser. So yes, like this is, this page can basically be custom made by anyone, and it can be a URL you can hand out to people. It's an issue with their support page and how the URLs work. And okay, cool, right? So who cares, right? Who cares? It's not real. It could start a conversation about Wii coming to NSO. But look, all right, yeah, in context, that's not legit. You know what might be legit? How about Special Nick? Special Nick has actually been nailing it with Nintendo stuff over the last couple of years. He's co-host of the Xbox Era podcast. He has his face on camera. He talks about things. He's got his leak segments. He tosses into these Xbox Ones, and sometimes they're about Nintendo. This time, though, he's just doing it right on X, and you see he quotes this because it made him remember that, hey, yeah, that's what I've been told, at least eventually. Not sure it's anytime soon. This is just a standard placeholder support page. It's supposed to be the nunchuck, too, so he says, oh, for sure. You'd be right there. I was saying more generally, they're doing a DS with an extra screen, a Wii with a new Wii remote that doesn't need the sensor bar, and a Sega CD. Then you see Necro Lipe, aka Felipe Lima, he's the guy who runs Nintendo Universo, said, oh, this is something probably in the cards. Sega CD, I've heard of, alongside the Wii. So multiple people are basically like, people that could be in the doubt, this is happening. We're getting the Wii, we're getting the DS, we're getting the Sega CD with attachment. Now, look, I've been long-standing that the screen attachment doesn't exist and isn't coming. I know there's some patents that show they've experimented with it. Maybe I'm wrong. And you know what? It's okay for me to be wrong. I don't mind being wrong on things that people want. I thought 3D Mario might not be till 2028. If it's this year, that's awesome. If I'm wrong about the screen accessory, that's awesome for people that want it. Like, I'm not upset when my speculation and my gut feelings are wrong. I'm here to give you guys what the actual reports are. My opinions that I might give on those reports are just my opinions, right? So in this case, this rumor out there, this is pretty cool. And I had a little private conversation with Special Nick, and I won't go over everything that we discussed. It wasn't for like a super long one, but let's just say one of these platforms, expect it sometime this year. Expect it sometime this year. And because of that, you never know. It could appear in the next Direct. That's right. Instead of, not just Virtual Boy, in addition to DS, Wii, Sega CD, just throwing it out there. One of those this year. We'll see which one it is. Obviously, it's just a rumor for right now. Next up, how about some Kingdom Hearts rumors? Now, what you guys really want to hear about is having Kingdom Hearts native versions come to Switch 2. And while there's been some faint rumors about that, Exodus has come out, who has proven to be semi-reliable. He's a content creator, and he's actually got some information, supposedly, reportedly, on Kingdom Hearts, but not all these games coming to Switch 2. How about a remake? Wait, what? Kingdom Hearts returns to its roots with a remake called Kingdom Hearts Relux, which will be released before Kingdom Hearts 4. Today, I bring you exclusive details. Now, he is a foreign language speaker to me, so it's really hard for me to understand. I don't trust, there's like AI translations of videos. I don't trust that. So thankfully, we do have a breakdown over on the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit. So we're going to link to his video, his tweet, and this breakdown so you guys can all verify this yourself. Obviously, I'm not going to say that Exodus is the most reliable person out there. He has been right on some stuff, has been wrong on some stuff. I haven't had the time to fully vet him, but he is someone we have covered before. And I think the last thing I covered from him ended up coming true. In fact, I believe he actually defends the point of it coming true, because he goes down here and he says, hey, just in case you don't know who I am and you're about to drop some idiocy in the comments, hey, he talked about Square Enix developing Dragon Quest VII Remake. He talked about that literally July of last year before it was announced. And obviously, Dragon Quest VII Reimagined is already out as of today. So that's what I was saying. I think that's roughly the last time I actually covered him. And he was right. So this is why we're paying a little bit of attention here, because he clearly knew about something pretty directly here. Now, let's get to some of the information he has in his video based on this breakdown. So it says, coming early 2027 with Kingdom Hearts 4 launching winter. So 2 Kingdom Hearts games launching next year, basically. The title is Kingdom Hearts Relux. Says he has received images of the remake. He doesn't show them in the video. Completely updated graphically while maintaining an original aesthetic. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering why he's not showing the images, it would literally, if this is like all legit, it would get his channel copyright striked. So like, very obvious why you wouldn't put the images up. Core mechanics are untouched. Developed by the makers of Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion. Composed of the remains of the canceled Missing Link. There's a new world, the Jungle Book, new playable Riku segments, and re-recorded opening song with another artist to accompany Hikaru Utada, originally targeting 2026 as a Switch 2 exclusive, which I find that to be interesting, a Switch 2 exclusive. But he says could be delayed to 2027 due to a shift in the priority to multi-platform. This point instills the most doubt in me because I'm pretty sure Square Enix was already in the multi-platform push. I will note here that like the idea of it being a Switch 2 exclusive is maybe a kind of a red flag, because Square Enix has been for a couple of years now on this kick of multi-platform everything, but maybe a timed exclusivity, that could be something I could see Square still dabbling in, because they have seen like success, like Octopath Traveler 0, right? Doing timed exclusivity on Switch and then bringing it everywhere else. Timed exclusivity on Switch 2, let's say this year, and then releasing early next year for all other platforms. Yeah, okay, that's possible. I think, one reason you would do that, why you might even think about timed exclusivity before you go multi-platform, is developing it from the ground up for Switch 2 first before you bring it everywhere else, so Switch 2 can have the best possible version. I think if they're doing this, they must think there could be a shitload of Kingdom Hearts sales on Switch 2 if they develop it directly for it rather than downporting a PlayStation 5 version. But I don't know. Obviously, this is just what he is claiming. We'll see what happens. Could have got delayed and made multi-plat. But I don't know. The point is, that's the news, guys. I don't really have much else for you here. Bunch of rumors. A little bit of leak with Xenoblade there, and obviously some news. You guys, let me know what you think about this stuff down in the comments below. Look, guys, I'm just sitting here. I get excited about the prospects of all of this. I don't know if any of it's coming true, but what I do know is I'll be live tonight, and I will catch you guys then. If not, I will catch you in the next video. Probably won't be until Sunday. I'm taking the entirety of Saturday off, day and night. So Sunday might be the next time you see a video. Probably at least a live stream that night with a video for sure on Monday. But yeah, we'll see what happens over the weekend. You guys are awesome. Catch you in the next one.